pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Schulte is here. Mr. Jones here. Mr. Helmers here. Ward here. Here. We'll look at the agenda for today.
Any changes?
I don't have any.
I'll make a motion on the agenda. Support.
Motion by Schulte, support from the board. Any further discussion on the December 23 agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Look at our minutes from December 10. Approval of those. I'll make a motion to accept those minutes. Helmers, support from Jones. Further discussion on December 10th minutes. Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Let's look at the schedule for January.
Yeah, and then you have to decide, these are your budget days, so what days work for you to do budgets? Usually do a 2-day holiday. Yeah. I know you guys saw my email, but our premiums went down again. Health insurance premiums went down like 2 years in a row, so. Yeah, that's very good news.
What days did you say?
You have to meet for sure the 2nd, and then the 14th and 28th, and then whatever you guys want to do, budgets, I'm not for sure when.
The week of the 28th might get a little late with your
Yeah, my,
publication this year.
Days still work better for you guys. I think they're all about the same.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2021.
how about 21, 22, 20th for close for?
So you can be here.
Yeah, I can still be here, but no one else will be here.
The holiday schedule's next.
Yeah, that's right. I thought that first before we did the January schedule.
What days?
What you're telling me?
21, 22.
It's in the handbook.
Second, we said too.
21, 22. Not the 20th.
No,
For January 2nd.
January second.
Yeah, you have to meet to appoint
Oh, yeah.
chair and vice chair and.
So the second, 14th, 21st, 22nd, is that right? And the 22nd.
And the 28th. What's my,
21st and 2nd, will just be budget.
At least the 2nd shouldn't take very long.
a few things on the committee assignments and third judicial appointments, but not, I mean, it's gonna take long.
Okay, so it'd be the 2nd. 14, 21, 22, and the 28th. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Should work. Okay.
Board will be the 2nd, 14th, 21st, 22nd, and 28th. Support from Helmers. Further discussion on January schedule. Hearing none, all those in favor of that schedule signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. The holiday schedule for this coming year, 2020.
I knew where it's at.
You had a hard weekend or something, I don't know.
Or Christmas yesterday.
Correspond to what's in the handbook. Reviews.
I'll have a motion to accept that holiday schedule. Support.
Homer, support from Schulte for the 2020 holiday schedule. Presented in our sheet that also has their own schedule. Any further discussion on holidays? Hearing none, all those in favor, approving that holiday schedule, signify with aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. 850 is the conservation annual report. Have at it,
Good morning. So we have the fiscal year end 2018 annual report here. Couple changes, in board members. This reflects Zach Marshall and John Schmidt were both appointed last year in January. We had 15 meetings during fiscal year end 2019. I think that might be wrong. Already caught up. Okay, and then I guess just the other highlights, the special project section, phase 3 of Willow Creek has been completed. And you can see, I mean, the write-up goes into a little more detail, but you can see kind of some photos of us working on some of the completed projects. The trail on the south side of the pond, the installation of the concrete boat ramp, us putting in the new floating dock out there, our mobility impaired fishing jetty that you'll see, improvements at Hawkeye Point, include the selfie station, and then a couple of the interpretive panels that were paid for by the Lyon County Riverboat Foundation. Our new bathroom up there at Iowa Lake, got a picture of that going in. Flooding pictures, because that was kind of an issue for everybody throughout the year. Education and outreach. In the, I guess, the previous fiscal year, or the year before this one, we had 20 education programs, and then this past year was the annual report, we get 30, so percentage-wise, that's quite a large increase.
I pushed them just a little bit, but I appreciate what you've done, getting that. The school appreciates it, and you guys have done a good job with that.
Thank you, Gary. So, flip over to the next page, we have a Trout Fest, which is one of our bigger events that we do every year, and we are scheduled to do it again this year on February 22nd, I believe. We will have trout at Willow Creek, and hopefully we get just as big a turnout as we have had the last couple of years. I think last year the attendance in Ashton was well over 100, I believe, and it's always nice hearing longtime residents of Ashton walk up to you during the event and say, I've never seen this parking lot, this park so full in my entire life. So, people seem to really like it. We've got our list of properties that we manage, habitat work, planted 10 food plots and roughly 30 acres of native burning acres number to be a little bigger than it has been, but these, April blizzards and ice storms really don't help us out at all in that, so if you guys could refrain from ordering those again this year, I'd appreciate it. And then, on the last page, you've got visitor use and fee income. Willow Creek did $31.25 in camping revenue. Hawkeye Point did $38.59 in camping revenue, which the Hawkeye Point one looks like it's up about $1,500. The Willow Creek one is up $1,200, it looks like. And then our lodge, we had $400 in revenues, which is, I believe, 8 lodge rentals, which is down from $800 the previous year, but we also put in there this year that we do have quite a few people that use the lodge, that are not-for-profits or church groups or something like that we do not charge for. So, more stuff does get used out there. So, I guess with that, now the quick and dirty version of the annual report. You guys have any questions?
You didn't put a picture of the new mountain site in there.
That was not done until this year. That will be in next year's annual report.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, that was done. Oh, that is done.
It just got done here in the last month or so, didn't it?
Yep.
Well, you should have still brought us a picture.
Well, I can show you a picture. I got one on my phone. We can cut up around here for you.
I drove on that.
Did it?
Looks nice.
Okay, thank you. I apologize for the wait on that, but some of it was out of our control. Further discussion or questions for conservation annual report? Approval, or we just received it? All the my code sections I have to submit it, so. Approved by my board, I guess, with that, our December meeting. Alright, so, alright. Have a great day. Merry Christmas. Becky for the sales tax, or the tax sales certificate assignment. We have next meeting.
Becky, this for South, they're ready for you. Thanks. Morning.
Request for approval of tax sale certificate assignment.
Yes, the city of Acton is requesting that we assign a 2016 tax sale certificate over to them from Maryland Flat. It is, a little piece of property where the old drive used to be in Ashton. Like right across the road from, is where the old piece of cattle was. So they were gonna demolish that and then they were gonna use it as a fill site. And they're also asking if we would pay the taxes on it. The tax amount that was evaded from 2014 to now is $163.
Is there a building or anything on it? No?
There is just a little old, it's a white building, it's not very big.
Like a garage or something?
No, it used to be an old drive-in.
Kind of a round front to it and on the,
It's still there.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture, I mean,
Remember being there.
you can barely see it, I think, there might be.
I went there as a kid.
Oh, really?
I
It's above the number.
remember it being there, but,
Huh.
yeah, it's pretty. I didn't remember the building being there either when I drove by. It's a little building.
Ice,
You know?
we're getting ice.
That's nice, what's it?
Wow, that's loud. Finish this right.
Yeah.
Mike has offered a motion to approve it. Assignment and the, what, word now? Abatement.
Support.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that approval? All those in,
Were they gonna do something there with it, what were you saying?
They said they were gonna, they were gonna use it as a fill, putting fill in it.
Oh. Just filled in.
further discussion concerning that motion? All those in favor, signify by aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right.
I'll let them know, thank you. Very much.
All right, you here with Ricasa?
Yeah.
Jason, thank you.
Fabulous, nice to meet you. I know I don't look like Matt, our executive director, but I am the director of victim services with CASA, and I just started, working with CASA probably a month ago, so Matt sent me here to do this, so bear with me on this. We at CASA serve, the sexual, actually, I'm gonna pass this around. These are, little brochures. And we serve, sexual assault victims. A majority of the funding comes from state and federal funding sources, however, some of the funding has been reduced, so we've become dependent on city and county government. That said, many agencies like us in the state of Iowa closed down, yet we have survived. We are fortunate to receive our federal and state grant monies. We appreciate your support for fiscal year 2021. We are currently the only standalone sexual abuse advocacy center in northwest Iowa and in your county. We have a 24-hour crisis line. We have support groups for adults and teens. We have individual support and advocacy for adults, teens, and children. We have medical and legal advocacy. We have support services for loved ones, safety planning, prevention, education, training, and crisis intervention, and bilingual advocacy. We serve 19 counties, and we have offices in 9 locations. We have advocates that travel into Osceola County to serve victims in this county as well. And we also have, we're trying to get together a START team, which is a sexual assault response team with nurses that we can call out when we have an emergency or the police go out. Our advocates will go out as well as a START nurse to do any sexual assault kits or anything that needs to be done on the victims. I think that is about it. So we are asking for you guys' support for fiscal year 2021, and thank you for whatever you guys are able to offer us or give us.
Budget workshop days and then we're everything.
Okay.
Is that mine, anything specific, gentlemen?
Bobby Miller.
What are your, what do you say of 9 locations of offices?
We have 9 offices, so we cover 19 counties, and then we have different offices in each county. So we have an office in Plymouth County, we have an office in Woodbury, we have an office in Sioux City, we have an office in Spencer, we have one in Lyon County, I'm trying to think of all the counties, Carroll County, we have one clear down in Monona County.
Lyon County is our probably closest one.
And this is two, yes. But we have little outreach, like, churches and stuff have allowed us to go in and use a room in the church. If we have some victims in a specific county and we don't have a specific office for it. We have, like, churches that let us use a room to meet with victims and things too.
Where is that? We'll see what kind of, does anybody know? There's a number here. What is it? Do you know where that is in our county? Just a phone number, but I was just curious where that was.
That's Presbyterian Church. There's a bank.
I think it's in the church, yeah. Yep.
You're the only person providing these services in the area, or is there other?
No, I will be the supervisor, and then I have, 12 advocates.
I'm thinking like duplication of services. Is there other people that are, organizations that are providing what you're providing in the 19 counties?
We have, domestic violence that provides the same service, but they work with domestic violence, victims, and then we work with the sexual assault victims. So FCC, provides the domestic violence piece, and then we do the sexual
So then
assault.
there's no duplication of services for the area?
No.
How much were they thinking?
I believe it's actually,
$4,000.
yeah, 4,000.
Did we give last year?
I don't think we have it. Okay, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Back up to consideration of appointing Kim Moran to the Board of Health. Larry Pedley, that is not going to continue, we're taking the turns.
A 3-year term.
Sitting on the, board with
Kendo.
Dan Berkman used to be on the school board, and I think there was a good, real benefit to the Board of Health to have that communication between the Board of Health and the schools. And with him not being on the school board anymore, it would be good to have the school nurse or someone representing the school involved, so I would certainly encourage.
I'll make that motion.
Second that.
Motion and support from Milmers and Jones to appoint Kim Moran to Board of Health. Good discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
I don't think I need a copy of
Right
that.
off, that's it.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
What it is, every time we make a SIM payment, we have to, there's a $250 fee that we have to pay. Normally, it's included when we make our payment, but First National Bank was sold to UMBM, and they do things differently, so we just got a bill, and we need to pay the $250. So we have to transfer money from general basic into the P&I, CFE P&I sinking fund to pay that bill. That's what that is.
So we'll look back to it.
I would've known that when we did it last time, I would've done it all at the same time, but I figured it was included in that, it wasn't, so. See if anybody does it differently.
Won't forget next time, right?
I hope not, no promises.
It's more likely than this. Motion for approval of that resolution. Mr. Moore offers a motion.
Support.
Mr. Schulte offers support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Moore, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. Helms?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
And that votes aye. Time to discuss the Thomas Pitt farm lease in 5 minutes.
What is that? I'm not sure what we,
Well, I think it has, I think you have to put it out for bids, I mean, introduce the key to.
I think we're too late for that, aren't we?
Yeah, supposed to be done by September one.
Why did they cancel those leaves? Otherwise, it rolls
At
over.
least it's good for
I
this
think
year.
the rules,
It's only a 3-year lease. It continues on.
Still gotta
it
get
doesn't
it
make any difference, it still has to be, we
September,
have to give notification for September.
So they haven't notified at all then?
Unless you got a letter that you sent them.
Unless Nolan did.
So I would say their lease is good for this year yet.
Yep.
I can let me,
Well, what's the point of signing the 3-year lease if it just goes over then?
So it's-
You still have to,
You have to give them
because
notification.
if you don't cancel it, it just goes to year after the 3 years runs out. So if you don't get notification at the end of the 3 years, it's year after that.
And if you do it.
Well,
If
if you
it
give it up, yeah, then we put it up for
Then you
bid.
put it up.
Otherwise, the farm that you got from,
You
September
haven't
one.
said anything about doing it again, or giving it up, or nothing?
Is there available by
no,
phone?
yeah, my phone is.
I'd say he's got it for next year yet.
I would say so.
Could be available.
There's Carol down there.
I tried, she must be.
Who's got the lease?
Oh, that's Carol now. Carol, if we're talking about this farm lease, was anything sent to Otto's for, you terminated last fall? Okay. No lease in effect.
No, didn't they do it?
Yeah.
By March 1. Okay. They didn't know if anything was sent to them or not, but the termination notice was sent to them. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, it was sent to him, so they have to have a lease into place by March 1st.
That's our advertising.
And you understood that the tillable acres changed because they stripped top soil? That makes sense.
Put it up for bids.
Motion to
Yeah.
advertise for bids on lease. Is that what you, Mike?
Yep.
I supported it.
Motion support to put up for bid, lease, advertise that. Further discussion?
How many acres is it now, do you know?
35.66 acres.
Approve that, signify with aye.
Do we need to indicate how we want it bid, as a lump sum or by the acre, or?
Was it by the acre before?
It's been both ways, because actually we've bid on it before, and it's been by the acre, and it's been a lump sum. Last time it was lump sum, and I missed it by $4. Because I thought it was by the acre. I don't care, however you want to do it, I'm just asking.
I'd say by the acre.
Yep.
I really don't care. You're more familiar with that process, I'm okay with you.
Whatever, that doesn't matter, but I just know last time it was lump sum.
Do you want it by the acre?
By the acre.
Okay.
So on each of that way.
Yep. Kevin, I should have known last time. I told him bid by the acre, bid by the acre, and it was like, it wasn't quite $4, but it was within just a few dollars.
Consider the wellness program agreement for next year. Further down.
Does that has something to do with our,
5% discount
Yeah.
and everything, yeah. I think we saved, the letter said we saved $49,000.
I think we usually do the wellness agreement?
Did they change much
No,
going into next year?
no, not the same. It's $150 now instead of $100. Some of the programs are first changed a little bit, but nothing major, so.
Motion from Helmers,
lady heading by that fast this morning.
Well, maybe they got called out, she's not able to be here.
My first thought when they approached me with this, I thought they should have deputies go. But then when I read it a little further, Dee and Sandy know more about the medical side than deputies do. So I asked them if they could do a 5-year, or commit to a 5-year. To do
What
this.
do they actually do? What is?
Open hospital death. Is basically what it amounts to. And how to preserve the scene.
So medical,
And what have
don't
they
go
done?
out.
Yeah.
How have they done in the past?
Medical examiner.
And they're trying to get away from that, or?
Medical examiner, well, we'll still need a medical examiner, but they don't want to go out. And we're,
Is that legal, is that okay to
Yeah.
do, or?
Lyon County is sending 2 deputies, which I thought that was the way to go, but Doug doesn't think it is.
They wouldn't have a medical background.
So that's why it probably is better with Dee and Sandy.
They're willing to do this?
Yeah. They go to St. Louis for, be about a week. I think it's 4 days school. And from the last I was told, they'd be going at least 5 years. I didn't want to spend that kind of money in a year or two, I would quit.
How much is it?
Yeah.
School's $800.
Is that a position, then, or do they go off?
It's right through the ambulance. So whatever the
Anything extra to do? No.
But
Don't we pay like the doctor?
I'm not sure what they get.
We pay them $150 to $200 and they go out.
I don't think it hurt to, I'm guessing they're gonna make this call when they're already responding
Yeah.
in a situation rather than calling the doctor.
Yeah.
They're just providing care and transporting to the hospital, and that's not necessary. I guess I can see where when this designation is required of them, that an extra little stipend or pay is added to the position because they're committing to
That
this.
was my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't care.
So they can do it, and then the doctor doesn't even have to do
I
it?
think then they bring the body into town.
Then does the medical examiner have to look at it again and go,
Probably.
they're gonna pay him again, even though he didn't wanna go out?
I would guess.
I'm guessing we're paying the medical examiner because he's going to site.
Yeah.
Once it gets to the hospital, I think it would be, I'm not speaking on absolute knowledge here.
And as far as,
Well, I know being on the ambulance, they have had to come out, and they do have to come out.
yeah,
I
as
don't
far as
think,
the stipend up, I would say let's, if they're willing to do it for now, we can always give a stipend in there.
Yeah.
do we have any sort of commitment that they would read?
Yeah.
They would know. Hello, we started in on it.
We're talking about you.
I
had a golfer.
Have you guys talked about a 5-year deal?
Pardon?
That you commit to 5 years on it?
Yeah. Are you guys ready for it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
understand, but
Oh,
trying to
okay.
understand just how it works exactly.
All right. Well, we kind of got to talking to our medical director, and, over in Lyon County, they're having a real problem. Their doctor, that is their chief medical exam, he doesn't go out unless he's working. So they're really running short of that, and I think that, we are covering Little Rock and some of Lyon County for them right now. So we kind of got visiting and we decided that maybe we should start being a little proactive and getting something set up for us here. So we decided, we looked into it, and it's like $850 a piece to take the course. And we're in, St. Louis, which is actually the university, it's the School of Medicine. It's supposed to be like rated like 45th and stuff. Anyway, so the cost of the class is $850, and it runs from Monday till Thursday. So, and it's the basic medical examiner investigator class. So we'd be able to go out and help the you know, instead of me would call them the coroner, they would call us. We would do all the paperwork and then talk to them about whether or not it's something that needs to have an autopsy done. It's quite an expensive course. I printed out some of the course schedule for Monday. So, yeah, with, the cost of the class and then the room, and then I'm not, was it $30 a day, Rochelle, per meal? Is that about right? Okay. So, with everything, it's probably like $2,800 is what it's gonna cost.
For both.
Yes, for both of us to go up there.
And you do have that.
So there's like $5,000 in my education budget right now.
If and when the medical examiner is called out to site, there's a fee that we pay
Okay,
for, correct?
yeah.
$50 sticking in my head, is that correct?
I was thinking that was, I think Rochelle, to where?
If the medical examiner goes out, it's
Say $150.
$100.
Yeah, it's $150.
Okay.
I think that's what Rachel told me too, was $150.
So if they go to the hospital,
Pardon?
if we were having some discussion about paying, once they're at the hospital, then we're done paying, aren't we? Or not? If they pronounce them dead, or how does that?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
if you
once
guys-
once you pronounce them dead, then they go to, like, the funeral home. You release them to the funeral home.
So-
Normally, if they need to have an autopsy done, then the funeral home takes them directly to have that autopsy done.
Let's say you guys went out and you pronounced him dead, you would not bring him to the hospital.
No. No, we never do that, unless, of course, we've done that on a rare occasion, especially if there's something that, you know, they need to, you know, maybe they need to get the roadway cleaned up or something. We've done that before, but that's not our practice.
Yeah, we've done it a couple times, and that was due to because the medical examiner couldn't get there at corner, and they just bring them up to the hospital.
We did that.
And then they did their exam, and then they pronounced them.
So if you pronounce them dead, then they don't have to be viewed again by the medical examiner. What you guys do is
Yeah.
covers that, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So if we get on the scene and it's, there's quite a list of criteria of what has to be, have a, you know, an autopsy done, you know, so if there's something like that, then, you know, we would probably just call the medical director on call or the coroner on call, talk to them and tell them what our findings are, and then go from there.
Are you guys nervous at all about doing something like that? Calm or not, or does that make you?
Well, I don't know, we've been quite a few deaths we've had.
Yeah,
I mean,
normally.
But it's just the paperwork, you know.
I think that's a lot of it. And Rachel said too that it's coming to where it's gonna be on the computer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they want them to do it.
Yeah.
So
And
this,
nobody likes to do paperwork, do it.
would you create like a new call schedule that would be utilized if that call was
Yeah,
to be made? Or is it only when you guys are responding anyway that you would
Right.
use this, or both?
Cause as far as, according to the Iowa law, they have to be on call 24/7, you know, so you would have to figure out something right now.
Anytime you're on the schedule for the ambulance anyway.
Yeah,
it would
and
be
then we
covered
would
in
probably
those
just,
portions.
yeah.
Well, I'd make a motion to St. Louis.
I'll support that.
And I would like to see us try to figure out the nuts and bolts of it a little bit more, and if there's a reason or a way that the stipend should be paid, or when this.
There was some talk about whether you guys want to get paid or should get paid for it, or,
Okay.
what are your thoughts?
required if you wanna call,
Yes,
or if you
yeah.
wanna.
See what's
make that.
required first, once we get to the class,
Yeah.
as to how much time is involved,
Yeah.
you know, to teach them.
I mean, we have not even, I haven't seen,
But
Pretty
it's good to
expected.
being proactive about it, because you feel it's coming down the pike anyway, so,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
This is
Good for you guys.
the course and moving forward with it, I agree. It's a good, I should hear this willing to do that. Other discussion, comments? Unless those in favor of the motion to approve this coursework cost, signify with aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you guys for
yeah,
willingness to do it.
Enjoy that class, huh?
so the next time you see us, we'll have a big magnifying. More to it, right?
White field on.
Received an email a few, not that long ago, not even a week ago, about the 19th Amendment request. 19th Amendment Centennial Commemoration Proclamation request. As 2020 will identify 100 years since the ratification of the 19th Amendment. There was a request that local and county governments consider proclamation. Requested, I have it to the agenda. Look at what we like. The email indicated they would like to compile those that were identifying the commemoration by January 1st, so that's what I thought would be worthwhile. Meeting. Got one, Matt? That is under items, method, funds,
All the same, just support it, right?
well, just basically saying what's happened in history, and 100 years later, we're kind of celebrating or acknowledging.
Any definition of include it.
Motion from Elmer, support from Jones, to issue the Osceola County 19th Amendment Centennial Commemoration Proclamation. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Museum representative out here.
Yeah, not way to do it. Oh, well. But first, Erin has her coffee, that's good. We have a little paper, sure.
I'm kind of looking for a glass of milk if you got it.
Oh, we're gonna dry this, Ernie, sorry.
That's what most kids think.
Maybe we better not eat these.
Better not eat them?
Well, is this considered a bribe?
Anything will work.
Don't even say that.
No. Just know I gotta get them out of our house. Too much there. The kids are on their way, but I know they're not gonna take it with them, so anyway. Okay, you all know me, of course, I've been here a few times. I'm gonna tell you a story. looks like an old piece of wood that should be thrown on the burn pile, right? Well, no, there's history to this, and there's a story that goes with it. My great-grandfather came from Germany, actually was a sailor, had a girlfriend told him it's time to settle down. So he was sailing the North Seas, and actually would come down into Lake Michigan to the, so on. But once he settled down, he first lived in Illinois. He was a farmer. It took him a while to catch on to the trade of being a farmer, but soon realized he needed to move on and came out west, came out to Osceola County. He took his horses and cattle and put them on a train car. And this is a stick that he used. It was longer. My uncle cut some of it off. But this is what he used to sort the cattle from the horses on the train car. I have the note that she had written, my grandmother had written, that had been passed down a couple generations, and now it's down to our generation. I'm afraid what's going to happen to this. My kids aren't into mom and dad stuff. But the museum is so full, we have literally hardly any room for anything except a very small event. So, of course, we're on the project of wanting to build another building. I did bring a model of what we're foreseeing. And I do have a drawing of what we'd like to see on the inside, which actually would like a balcony on this inside of this to double our space. So we're putting we'd like to put a large garage door in for several reasons. One, of course, to get things in and out. But we've also done some visiting with other entities in town that hopefully we can share and go on this, work on this together a little bit. We'd like to have a storage area in this building. We'd like to have a kitchenette so we could have groups, meetings there, and have a place for kids as well. I envision an area where it's kids hands-on, totally hands-on area. A lot of things to be worked out. However, the number one question is, how much is this going to cost? We don't know the exact number. I have gone to the lumberyard here in town and Ochino. They've both given us some plans, and we kind of expanded the dollar amount because we know how things go. It's more expensive. So we're looking right now at $130,000. Again, we do not know exactly what it's going to cost. Okay? We have been working hard on this. The first thing we did was in March of last year, where we did the home show. That was the kickoff of our fundraising and our exposure to people. It's kind of a mad dash to get things put together, so we had some things for people to look at and see. But from there, it has kind of snowballed. So the first column, you see some of the projects and activities that we have done. And I'm not going to read them for you. You're all intelligent people, you can read through that yourself. But those are some of the things that we have done. I did forget one. I have spoken to Rotary in Kiwanis. I spoke with Catholic Daughters, but also we've spoken to the firemen. So that's one I left off. The next part are fundraising efforts. You can see we have applied for different grants. We've acquired most all of them except the casino grant. And that's just a look at the draw. Personal contact, we've been talking to lots of people whenever we can. I carry brochures in the car with me, so I will let people know. The fundraisers, we've done the escape room. That was a great one. Again, that was partnering with the Fair Board. Concessions that go to summertime, did different raffles, the Amazing Race, that was in November, money jar donations, money jars around town, and then we just had the event a week ago with Mitch Ackerman helping us, at the museum. That was a good success as well. We have ideas for the future of things we want to do. Again, I've emphasized that we want to partner as best we can with anybody that we can. So, for example, library. In the spring, we're doing a display about methods of gardening. Very board again, we're doing a new escape room. We're working on fixing up the wash house out there, things like that. I've also planted some seeds with them, some other historical things that I could do out there. The extension, we're doing a spring event, a big event with kids. So that will be coming up, and that, again, with a lot of different entities. With the school curriculum, I'm meeting with superintendent and high school principal after Christmas and see what things we can do together as far as historical research. Working with the chamber. Some other things we're planning, the Amazing Race went over so well that they asked us to do another one, and that's going to be during the summertime. Right at the time, we have the first Friday coffee. We want to do a headstone history tour. Sounds kind of morbid, but I went to one in Sioux Falls to see what it was like. It was very interesting, so we've already got people working on that, getting some history on people who are buried there. We have a large number of Civil War veterans out there, which is quite interesting, and some POWs. We're planning the new escape room, and that has some Melvin history that will be brought in with that. And like I said, many more integrated projects in the future. So, with that, we know we're not going to keep everybody happy. As far as where we build this, it's still kind of in there, but we have been given permission by the park board and the city to build in the park, in the very northeast corner. Heard a few rumblings lately. Why would you build it there? Well, because it's right next to the park, right next to the other museum. Now, some other possibilities have come up, but it's not set in stone. The only thing that is set in stone is we want to build an additional building. What questions do you have?
Will this replace the existing building?
No, it will be in addition to. What we would do is, and that's a very good question. The front part of the old museum is pretty much agricultural, so we would move that out into the new building. That would free up more space for other exhibits in the old museum itself. I'm worried. I've had so many farmers and other people come to me and say, would you like this for your museum? I had one person the other day, we've got the old chain fork and the pulleys from inside the barn. Would you like that? Yeah, I'd like it, but we've got to get the building built. I had someone offer a truck, and that has some very special meaning to the county. I've had a gentleman say, I've got a building as big as what you want to build. It's full of antique implements, things like that. Come and pick whatever you want out of it. You can have it all if you want. I mean, so it's a good problem. I mean, people are willing to donate things. But the problem is this is still faster than I really hoped.
I know from when you guys were here earlier, it sounded like you had a lot of issues with the building that you currently have. So I guess it would have, for me, made sense that you would build something to replace that building. You kind of cut your losses on maintenance on that thing.
Well, yes and no. There is a piece of rotted wood. It's about 2 feet. It's not huge, but it's a little corner underneath that needs to be replaced. outside, the laws, as far as I can tell, are in good shape. It's gonna need paint in another year or two. Other than that, I don't know that there's a lot wrong with that building. And of course, I put more insulation in it, those kinds of things, but it was still killing stages.
Because it's a lot of maintenance to take care of multiple buildings, so it would make more sense to me if you guys were all just gonna combine it into one location and build that new facility to accommodate that. Maybe even the fairgrounds would be a better place to sit something like that, but.
Well, that's a possibility, but I know the
Because your
fairgrounds
traffic,
also, yeah.
your traffic ability to get people to go through it would be a lot more prominent out there than where you're currently at now.
Yes and no. I do know that they want to widen that driveway in the park. I know that's been talked about. That they're gonna move some of those posts in so that we can get better access. I also know that the fairgrounds, they're crowded when it's fair time. So I don't know if they would want us putting a building out there. You know, there's lots of options. I don't wanna fundraise for the rest of my life. And I know, the question was also raised, why don't you attach it to the current building? I had 2 different contractors go out and look at it, and they said it was double the price what it would take to build.
How big is this building?
We're looking at 40 by 80. But yes, in response, I appreciate your comments. I just don't know how we can handle it.
Because I know if you're looking at putting a balcony access at the upper level of this building that you're talking about now, that's gonna require ADA capability
We
to
would
get up to
make it-
that.
If you visited that new museum, Vanderhaeg,
Over at Sanborn.
Sandburg, you can see pretty good from below. We went to look at that one just to get an idea. And what we would put up there, we would make sure it's not little things, so that everything would be visible from down below. Because, yeah, to put in an elevator, we're gonna talk a lot more money, a lot more maintenance on the elevator. Our church elevator is always needs something. So,
You have to
we're
be
trying.
inspected every year.
Right. So we're trying to avoid some of those things and keep the costs manageable for us. So, you have to remember, most of the people on these boards are older than I am. So, don't put that.
But we're still, our annual isn't in the museum yet, so we're okay.
Yes, it is. Which, by the way, I did bring that one back. This one happens
Yeah,
to,
this is good.
if you take a look, that's where the arrow is. And then,
Legwork's been done, I appreciate it.
and here's another arrow.
And you want me to vote for this?
You brought it up last time.
Beth and I have talked, because I'm on the fair board too, and I haven't talked to her since, but
She wants me to.
what about a high point?
That would even be more of an issue for us to maintain.
Okay, well, I was just.
You know, and I have talked to people at with High Point, and we kind of have an agreement that if items are donated that can withstand being outside, that they will take those things. And they're good with that.
Just a thought.
I know, and I'm open to most anything.
You better than that with all. You got a lot of hair.
Cindy, you want to see that? I did have hair.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you, I need to maybe get a picture.
I guess the only issue I see with that as being a nonprofit is by having to take care of 2 buildings, you do increase a lot of your daily costs. You're heating 2 buildings, you're cooling 2 buildings. You know, you got water services for 2 buildings, you got insurance on 2 buildings, you got maintenance on 2 buildings. It would make sense if you were gonna build a new building to all house it all in one building.
Then the question is, where can we find space to do that? I mean, that's that opens another whole can of worms, but yes, I appreciate what you're saying.
And this.
Yeah,
that,
I mean-
you know, it just takes a lot to get there.
Yeah, I mean, we are currently, we have some pledges out there too, but we're over 50,000.
Do you have any way, Beth, how do you guys use the general maintenance and operations of the building you have? Is that all from donations, or do you have?
Up until a year ago, it was all on donation. Then the city fund gave us the money, and it's helping us out.
Because I know we've talked about it at the fairgrounds, you know, like an event center or something. And actually, the building itself isn't the issue. The issue is running it and heating it and cooling it and the dollars involved in that, you know. So, I mean, that's, we can probably get the building done, but then somebody's got to maintain it.
Like I said, the city has been helping us the last couple of years, and which has been a lifesaver. There's something on that. But, yeah, and, you know, as far as everything on the inside, we do it ourselves. We don't hire anyone unless we have to put in a new furnace, which we just put in a furnace in the other building last year. And air conditioners. So anyway, if you've got any molded money laying around, we're sure you got a place that it could go, but keep us in
Is
mind.
there a specific request or something you had in mind, or just very open to whatever?
Anything up to 100,000.
You cut us off at 100,000.
Yeah, we've got the other 50. But, and I know you guys are strapped for money, plus, and get requests all the time too, so.
You did have my vote until I took one.
You just remember, you brought it up last time.
Certainly consideration.
And it is.
I give you credit for all the work you do.
Yeah.
And there are other grants out there we're going to apply for, but most of them, or not most of them, some of them you cannot apply for until you're in that final year, when you're ready to go.
Iowa Tourism?
Yeah, and there's some historical ones, there's, a REAP grant.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd
Checking into them.
sure the idea of one facility would certainly
Be nice.
make more sense to me, but at the same time, people are passionate about continuing and growing and.
Yeah, and some people are very passionate about the building that's there.
It's those ongoing costs as you get these people that retire off of these boards that
Yeah.
continue long after you've left,
Yep.
that you gotta figure out how to pay for.
But we'd be investing in something that I believe there's an organization there that will continue to have that desire to maintain.
Then the
Can't see the future further, but
where, and then we have to buy the land. Where, here we don't have to buy the land. We've explored other parts of the park, and that's off limits, so.
We got a nice industrial park out there on 9 and 60.
Building's all set up.
Building's already there.
Doesn't hurt to look at.
not our building.
No, but I appreciate your time, Beth.
Yes,
Well,
thank you
thank
for coming in. We have rides scheduled to
Yeah, sorry.
address us next, so we'll.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, thanks, folks. Join us. I remembered you, I'm sure we've made that before, but
Probably.
I made the assumption you're with Rod.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Well, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I won't take much of your time at all. It's my understanding you guys have the packets already. Is that correct? Okay, super. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm grateful to make the trip over. RAG is really grateful for our partnership with you and hope that we can continue that. It is vital and it's very appreciated. I think it's exciting, especially for Sibley, that we kind of have the best of both worlds here. You guys have a great system running in town, serving your community within Sibley, and what RIDE then provides is that transportation outside of Sibley. And so some of the numbers to note are those county totals, just a little over 1,200. We do a pretty consistent, I'm confident in saying very consistent, number of trips out of not only Sibley, but your surrounding communities, to Sioux Falls for doctor's appointments, to Lamar's, to Season Center, to Orange City, and various areas that your communities, members are receiving through that medical, out-of-county and out-of-state transportation. It doesn't take much research, and I mentioned bring some numbers along. I ended up leaving work on Friday when a dear friend ended up in the hospital, and so I omitted bringing those with me. But communities that have public transportation thrive, and so I think it's fantastic that you guys can have the best of both worlds between rides and your community service that you already have in town. So I don't have anything real specific other than that to share. Again, we appreciate your partnership. We are asking for the same amount that we did last year. It's not an increase in that, which is a total of $1,400. We also are respectful that dollars only go so far, so happy to be able to leave that request at the same amount. If you have any questions, I'll certainly try to entertain those and answer them for you. MTM is one of the brokers for the managed healthcare organizations. So MTM is the transportation broker, the same as Logisticare, and then now Iowa Total Cares. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, those abbreviations, unless you're a transit nerd like we are. It's not something. We are very grateful for Mike's representation on the board as well and his insight.
So where are you taking the whole payment people to?
It depends on what they're doing. Some of it is competitive employment, and some of it would be the doctor's appointments that are medical.
Since we don't have a building here anymore.
Right.
Right. I wasn't sure.
And we transport a fair number of them to Brommer Services Center for competitive employment. Yep. Yeah, that space is continuing to change for us, and we're working really hard to continue to do that. I think, Mike can speak to the fact that part of what RISE is really looking at doing now is more continued employment services. We provide transportation for BT Industries from Storm Lake to Holstein. We provide for EPS out of Spencer to Grettinger, and we're in conversation right now, pretty strong conversation in Sioux Center with the AWA to transport, because it's difficult to hire if transportation is a barrier, then that makes it even that much harder. So that's an area that we're really focused on doing, and really reaching out to a lot of different businesses. So if you know somebody you think may benefit from that, there is a grant out there for the Iowa Development that we can certainly access and do that within the county if we saw that as something that could be done. The board of county board of supervisors would probably become the grant holder for that. That's how we've done it in ED, and we'll be looking to do that in Sioux County as well. Good questions. Anything else I can answer for you? If not, I will let you move on with your day. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I hope however you celebrate the pending holidays that it's joyous and that you enjoy time with families, and it's a little bit of downtime. It's important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Pardon me, did you have Sure. There's two of them.
Further discussion on that? Put back up and give consideration to the compensation board recommendations.
I know I saw it.
I just want everybody's files up with it, you know.
Got a recommendation from the compensation board, consider 5% salary increases for elective offices. Thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Remember what the union got?
2.5. We'll be entering our second year at 2.5.
2.5.
Same, both years.
Levy increase was 1 point something. Cost of living increase was 1 point something.
So,
Yeah, or something. Yep, so.
that was sticks in my head, I'm not sure. I don't wanna see us go below the 2.5.
That would be, what did we do last year?
2.47,
Just right.
yeah.
That's what we did last year.
2.47, and Doug got 3.
I was glad to see they came in with the same figure I had, like a couple of them.
I could see the 2.5. That's just me.
I agree with that.
Going a little bit higher than that possibly even, but
Yeah, I thought anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000.
I'll just go split difference.
Given the current economy, I'm thinking more along that 2.5 range.
I agree, but there's a lot of time and work that goes into getting that 2.5 at the sheriff's office and then just, 2.5 here.
That's true.
I want to treat our employees well and not have to go through all of that to work together, but that's personal opinion and approach.
I could live with that too.
I'd make a motion of 2 3/4.
I'll support that.
Yeah, especially in light of the news with the insurance. Yes, we sort of didn't reach anything, that's pretty substantial benefit as well. Everyone received that. We formally approve that recommendation at this point, or are we using it just for budgeting, or? And then we have to do a final.
You have to do a final on the date of, the date of
Budget,
our,
but-
yeah.
Motion to approve the requirement is that we identify a reduction in the recommendation. Or will that be on the final resolution, or just
Yeah, that's,
budgeting services to identify?
yeah, resolution will show what recommend, after recommend that the board approves.
Are we wanting this to be the wording that is required for the reduction approach versus, or are we just saying, one of the motion and the support, or are we just saying what they need to use for budgeting purposes, or is it just the approval?
I'd say that's what they use for the budget, with the 2 3/4.
Is that for all of us or is that?
Yeah, straight across the board.
Change it for supervisor.
Go with 5 or 7 over there.
That is the whole thing.
I was thinking straight across the board, then we're changing the supervisors out here. Doesn't bother me either.
And I recommend 2 for the board of supervisors.
I'd support that.
Well, can we have 2 separate motions, or is this gonna be
Yeah.
one motion, or
Whatever, however you want to do it.
Either I change mine
you're
to,
okay with
yeah.
recommending 2 3/4 for the elected offices, other than supervisors, and 10% for supervisors, okay? Any further discussion on that? Okay, I think on budget time, we'll actually have the resolution that identifies the direct reductions of the recommendation, okay? further discussion? All those in favor signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, both on that phone, we don't know.
I thought you do one of this one and one of this one.
Okay.
Hey Jack, it's Michelle. Can I put you on speakerphone? Okay. Can you hear me? Jack, can you hear me? Yes, sorry Jack, I lost you. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone now.
Okay.
You hear, okay, we got you. All right, we're gonna call Nolan also, so.
Apologize for the noise in the background
It's
here.
gonna be a little noisy first.
We're sorry.
How do I send it?
Maybe you don't need to send anything. And just.
We're sorry. It is not necessary to dial a 1 or a 0 when calling this number.
Hello, Nolan?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can, we got Jack on the other line on speakerphone. Jerry just stepped out, will be at the beginning of the 10 o'clock, discussion of custodian employee responsibilities, possible closed session item. Yeah, I don't know how we want to begin.
We'll go to Jerry back and then talk about maybe a full session.
Okay, go ahead, he's here.
I'm back.
Okay, so we start off with, I think Jason's introduced the agenda item. If, the employee was requested or closed session, it sounds like he has. I think it would be appropriate for the board chair to explain that and then to take a vote of members present. I don't know if that sounds right to you, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Custodian employee responsibilities, we believe it's reasonable and acceptable to go into closed session if the employee is requesting that, which he's nodding yes. Then would someone like to make a motion to enter closed session via Iowa Code 2151 IRL?
I'll make that motion. Support.
Motion from Helmer, support from Schulte. Mr. Helmer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Schulte?
Aye.
Mr. Jones? Aye. Mr. DeVore?
Aye.
I vote aye. We are now in closed session.
That would be
What
prior to working those hours.
I think he comes in at 6 normally, sometimes he goes from 6 to 1 or 6 to 12:30 is his normal hours, what he normally comes in.
Whatever the normal hours, this was 6 to 12:30.
Mike, you were saying, to clarify, the custodian was done by,
That was done by Mrs. Office and Mike, their son. Up until, well, we sat and decided. Well, no, then when they quit, then Ernie said he'd do it. And,
You added to it, and his wife had to build.
Ramona was
Yeah,
hired.
Ramona was here with
Additionally, it wasn't just Ernie,
yeah,
two being paid.
yeah, because Sylvia and Mike, they did the custodian for, I have no idea how long.
Do you have support for that motion? No support?
Motion.
Yes. That is set the hours of the custodian position with additional hours approved via the auditor. Any further discussion?
I just have one question. Say he's out there working, and it's 1 o'clock, is he supposed to stop and come in and ask her?
If she's here, yeah, that's how they do it downstairs. They either talk to Mike O'Connor or they talk to Aaron.
I was thinking might call him out or whatever.
Well, it'd be extra time if he gets called in after that.
Yep.
yeah,
So
That's
she'd be calling them in.
A lot of times they never call me, like the sheriff's office don't call me if he needs to come in with anyone, they call Ernie directly, but does he have to call me first before he goes there, or if they're calling him in for a situation that I know anything about, he just comes in then, without
Somebody just
calling me?
needs to notify you.
Either that, he can tell you that right afterwards or whatever.
If they call him in, I don't see a problem with that.
He doesn't have to.
But that extra call needs to be made to you.
It should be, yep.
That's the motion is saying, that you can't just respond to calls you receive, that it needs to go through the auditor.
That's the person that oversees.
So, but, there's an emergency and I don't happen to be by my phone or don't have it, what is he to do then, wait till I
You
get
got a
to him?
second in command over there?
Sheila.
Well, there you go.
Something should be there.
Well, I mean, during the hours is not, but after hours is what I'm saying. You have to notify me every time he's supposed to go over there.
If an emergency comes up, they just need to notify you, whether by email or whatever, just so you've got a record of it.
And, just for my understanding, we're understanding that he will continue to do by the ambulance building, and that's gonna be beyond.
We need to
these
update,
hours.
yeah, we need to update the job description to include all these other things that we're unaware of that are, maybe Jack could help with that.
What he's been doing, I appreciate, and I
I do
don't
too.
really mind that it's grown beyond what was on paper.
And I appreciate all the things that he's doing, but we've updated a lot of job descriptions with Jack at the courthouse, and this one just kinda got overlooked.
But I don't want him to feel bad for having taken on responsibility for other things or trying to help out, and then it becomes point of contention or anything, but. Okay, any further comments, discussion? All those in favor of that motion signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Snow removal, do we need to discuss that separately, or that was adequately covered by the previous motion?
That was adequately covered.
Anything further, gentlemen, Jack or Nolan?
I mean, all I would say on that is, I realize we just talked about it, it's constructive. At the end of the day, if you're gonna have a motion or a discussion or a decision that means that our county's custodian can't come into the courthouse without approval during off hours, at some point, a longer consideration of whether or not this is conducive to the proper execution duties of the county auditor as elected and the county supervisors as elected to take care of the courthouse and ensure the safety thereof to be had. Hopefully, this time is a great day for that, so I'm just gonna leave that. That's my thought on that. Besides that, no, nothing further.
Jack, still with us?
Jack, did you have something?
No, not necessarily. I just, if you need anything from me, you can let me know. If there's some adjustments that need to be made in the situation, I'm happy to help. Just let me know and I'll help you work it out.
Okay. How do you, reconsider a vote? Or can I just indicate my vote change to a nay?
You can make motion to reconsider the previously voted upon motion. You can make.
I was on the prevailing side.
You can go ahead and make motion to reconsider that. We can have a revote if you like.
Like I said, as I thought about it afterwards, I've only been saying that, it's the auditor's decision. I understand the guidance we were offering, and as far as hard firm vote as to policy, I've changed my mind. I would just assume, still give the auditor that discretion. I don't disagree with trying to set the approach to contact and get the approval beforehand, but I'm changing.
But in all instances, in my motion, I wasn't required in that discussion for approval beforehand for those things that come up after hours. They just need to let her know that they sent them out.
Right. I understood that if a call came from the sheriff's office directly to Ernie, you go her, she couldn't take the call.
No, just send them out. If it's an after hours thing,
You still go ahead and do it.
you still go ahead and do it, but you just notify her and send her an email or something that
Not
you did.
available, leave a voice message,
Or an email or whatever.
okay, all right, I didn't wanna step on,
No.
that's the auditor's responsibility, and I don't think it's our appropriate place to say this is how you absolutely have to do
No,
it.
that's why I said,
That's the guidance.
that's what the discussion we had, I just sent her an email.
Okay, sorry for the confusion, I will not ask that you reconsider. Okay, thank you. Anything further? Or
No.
you guys are free to go?
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks,
Okay.
Nolan.
Yep.
Happy
Okay,
holidays.
You're welcome.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Thank you.
You guys,
Yep.
last thing would be claims. Number, I need to cite 1124 is Boswell Water Service.
Make a motion to pay that.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Schulte, support from Mr. Jones. Pay claim 1124 to Boswell Water Service, I will abstain. Further discussion? All those in favor, signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. The remainder of the claims.
And they're all at it, and they're not in a drainage ditch. All we've had is not in the drainage. Yes, we have. Well, I think we're over 200, 300 tons.
Really?
I think there was a ton out there.
I think Riddle turned in 6, and, Brady Clausen, around there.
I thought you meant 200 meters.
Oh, no, no, that's $200.
I know there's a lot
Sorry.
out there.
That's what I thought too, was
I'm not talking
200
area,
No.
issue down in my area.
That would keep the man busy.
He said they had cleaned the ditch out like 5 times last week.
I can read it.
None of them's been in a drainage ditch, it's all been. Conservation, yes, I'm very thankful for that.
Wait till next week.
Oh.
Anybody have any questions or
stuck out at me, so I'll support that.
The question of the efforts to avoid conflict of interest is the Kendall Helmers one, and so then create that.
That was ambulance, wasn't it? I want to see where that any conflict of interest. That's just my thought.
I continue to be confused about some words. Okay. Continuing with that motion for the remainder of the claims, LaGroy?
Yeah. And I'll still my support.
Further discussion? All those in favor of the remainder of the claims, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I will abstain. Close this and move into already starting drainage district action. Meetings. Want to adjourn by motion. Vote.
Did we have any updates on the mental health, or we're just status quo?
Yeah, at the regional meeting, regional meeting last week, we did vote to approve the county, the three counties to the east, letters of intent with conditions. CSS has to agree to basically the 9 million or more in the fund balance to disperse to those counties. I don't think we can really hold hard to a number, as it should by bylaws be their per capita portion of where they end up as of July 1. They indicated that they don't have additional spending, they're currently under budgeted expenditures, so it's reasonable to expect that. And those counties are on board with additional levies that first year, should need be. So when those conditions are satisfactorily agreed to, that will come to each county board to consider. Got a good work session, or meeting with the sheriff's office and county attorney as to some of the concerns with the crisis line. They were able to share other concerns and the expectations or hopes for the region. So locally, we can see some changes or improvement or better understanding of how to work within the system we have.
How long before, would those guys move in then in June?
We'd be looking at July 1.
July 1.
They keep pushing for sooner, but I think it becomes a financial and bylaw and everything nightmare to try to do it mid-year. Because
I don't see how that could
negative,
work.
and it would likely be a negative impact to their levy more.
Yeah, I don't see how that could work with them coming earlier.
We're ordering them.
Any further committee updates? Sure. Support. Motion by DeBoer, support from Helmers. All those in favor of adjourning, signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
On the back side, the agenda.
Looking it over, we will
I'm trying
have
to save money.
Drainage District 9. Do the roll call or identify that the roll is the same as the previous town meeting. Interested in approval of the agenda for the Drainage District 9 meeting.
So,
Support. Further discussion on this agenda. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Ivan, going to be available by phone, or do we need to want him?
Yeah, I think he was needed to.
Considering action similar to what we did previously approved improvements that we were holding off on until we knew how large the scope of the project was. We have a motion to consider the title improvements for DD number 9. Direct the engineer to prepare final plans and specs and proceed towards bidding and work jointly with 9 Branch 2 and 43.
Make that motion.
Mr. Support the motion to approve that agenda item. Have any discussion as to in favor or against its approval? All those in favor, signify with aye. All those opposed, same sign. Nothing else on the agenda for Drainage District 9, do we want to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Jones? Support. Or from Helmers? Is that where you're right now?
I was waiting your cue, put down your foot like a tie.
All those in favor of adjourning Drainage District 9 meeting, signify with aye. All those opposed, same sign. We'll move into the meeting for Drainage District 43, and then by the enrollments previously, we have a motion to approve an agenda. Right. Approval of the agenda.
Second.
Support for the agenda from Mr. Jones. Further discussion on 43's agenda. All those in favor, signify with aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Should have corrected the agenda, I guess. Let's look for a motion to approve the title improvements. Last part would be that work jointly with improvements in DD 43 and DD 9 and by Branch 2. Okay, no, that's right. Sorry. So we want to consider those improvements for final action.
I'll make that motion.
Support for that. Be consistent with the previous two. Improvement.
Second.
All those in favor of the final approval, 43 for the directing engineer to prepare final plan specs and proceed toward bidding. Other comments, questions? All those in favor, signify with aye. Those opposed, same sign. looks to me like our final adjournment for the day.